Hook, story, and offer. That's what we're going over today in Russell Brunson's .com Secrets book. And so today we're going over secret number 2. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Emiliano here, and this is the .com Secrets series. We're going over the first book of the 3 series, and today we're going to be going over secret number 2. And as usual, Russell Brunson starts out every chapter with an amazing story that basically summarizes what he's going to go over in the whole chapter. So his story in this chapter talks about how he was on stage one time, and one of many. So anyways, on this occasion, he was on stage and he was going to be talking to a bunch of high achievers, and he had no idea what to talk to them about. So obviously, as I mentioned in the introduction of the video, it's hook, story, and offer, and that's what he's going to talk about. So I'm just going to read a little bit off a paragraph here, and then I'll kind of go over it. So he says, As I sat there looking at these high achievers, I knew that the most valuable thing that I could share with at the moment was the hook, story, and offer framework, because this was not only the key to getting what you want in business, but it was also the key to getting anything in life. So he's talking to a bunch of high achievers. So he's like, this is what we're going to talk about. And then he starts. So to illustrate a point, I pulled out my cell phone out of my pocket and told all the warriors, that was the name of the convention, that I was going to show them a magic trick. So he goes on to say, I pulled out my phone and I said, I purchased this iPhone for $600 last week. But in the next 10 minutes, someone here is going to be willing to give me at least $100,000 for this phone. Then he smiled and he asked the crowd, is there anyone here right now who is willing to stand up and give me $100,000 for this phone right now? And obviously not a single person raised their hand. Nobody stood up. They were just like, what? What is he talking about? So, and then I told them, and then he goes on a few more paragraphs and he says, and then I told them that if they were to buy this phone from me, these are the things that that were already installed in the phone that they would get immediate access to. So now he's going to tell the crowd, this is just not an iPhone. It's not only worth $600. There's a bunch of stuff in the phone, and this is what comes with the phone. So you won't only get the iPhone, but you'll get everything else that comes with the iPhone. So he goes out to, I'm just going to briefly summarize what he mentions because I'm not going to go through everything. He says, the first one, Apple's book app. And then he said, I told them, over the past 10 years, I have been online. I've purchased over $750,000 worth of courses. I've purchased every marketing, sales, investing, and personal development course that is out there. So not only does he purchase regular courses that are meant to be audio, but he would purchase like DVDs and have his team make them into an audio file and download them to his phone. So he had a bunch of stuff that wasn't readily available out there for everybody else to get. Then he says, second, my contact list. Then he said, I showed the warriors the names of some of the people that are inside my address book. And he said, many of these names have been worth millions of dollars to me alone. If you had my contact list, you could tell them that you knew me and that I referred you to you. And then I referred you. And I guarantee that they will they would at least take your call. And then I started to read the names of the people that were in my address book. So that was basically what the second thing that he mentioned his phone had. So he had $750,000 worth of stuff, of audiobooks and insights and marketing and strategies that he's learned over the years. And then he had an amazing contact list worth millions, basically. And then he said, number 3, Voxer. He said, my highest end coaching clients pay me $100,000 per year to have access to my private Voxer channel. So they have the ability to ask me any question at any time. I'll review their funnels, tweak their copy, make connections with other people inside my network. All they have to do is message me. That's why they pay $100,000 a year. So that was bonus number 3. Then he gives other offers, other things that he has in the phone. Says, who here, and then he goes again, who here would now give me $600 for this phone? Of course, every hand in the room shot up. And then he starts an auction, and he says, this is a real auction, so don't lie. If you needed to pay the actual price, would you pay $1,000? And he said every hand stood up. Then he went to $5,000 and every hand stood up. Then he went to $10,000 and $20,000 and every hand was still up. And then he was at 50, 75, 100,000. And he said that still over 50 hands in the room were still up, wanting to pay up to $50,000 for his phone. I'm sorry, $100,000 for his phone. So he raised the stakes. He went to 250, 500. I said at the time I was shocked that there were still a few hands willing to pay me $500,000 for my phone. Then I said, if you're willing to pay $750,000 for my phone right now, come up to the stage with me. And he watched in amazement as 3 individuals walked across the room and onto the stage with him. So he asked them what everybody was thinking, of course. Why in the world would you pay $750,000 for my phone? And then one of the guys said, after hearing everything that is on that phone, $750,000 actually seems like a really good deal to me. So that's where he ends. So remember, guys, we're talking about hook, story, and offer. Okay, that's what this chapter is about. That's what the secret's about. So when he starts going over, that's his story. Now we're going to start going over each one of the hook, story, and offer. But instead of going hook, story, and offer, he starts from the end to the beginning. He starts by describing what the offer is. So before he says, I've just shown you a glimpse of how quickly we can change the value of a product by changing it into an offer and dramatically increasing its value by using stories and hook to grab the attention of the user, of the individual. So he's saying, if you have a product, you don't sell the product. You need to make this product into an offer. Okay? So you're not selling the product. You have to build an offer around it, and that's what you sell. Every step of your funnel will have a hook, a story, and an offer. The ads you place online, the emails that you send, and the landing pages that you create, as well as all the upsells, webinars, or phone calls that you make, they all need to have a hook, a story, and an offer. So then he starts breaking them down. So he starts with the irresistible offer. As I said, he goes from back to the start. He says, my definition of a commodity is something that someone can buy somewhere else. So if I was trying to sell iPhones, I was competing against Apple, Best Buy, Amazon. And the only way to get for me to get the advantage over these sellers would be to lower the price of my iPhone. And then he goes on to say a quote of Dan Kennedy. There is no strategic advantage of being the second lowest price leader in town, but there is every huge strategic advantage of being the most expensive one. When you build an offer that is perceived as inexpensive to the customer because you've created so much value, then you are able to serve them at a higher level. So the offer increases the perceived value of what you're selling. Okay? So the solution is selling a commodity. So the solution to selling a commodity is to restructure what you're selling and turn it into an offer. So if you guys are selling real estate, then you're not selling a house. You're not selling, like, the house is the end product, right, for your customers. So, but you have to promote yourself as an offer. Like, why do they want you as an agent, for example? If you are listing their property, any realtor out there can go and list a property and put it in the MLS. But why should they pick you? You should structure an offer around your listing presentation, because with you, they're going to get A, B, C, not just the listing. Maybe you can offer, you're going to stage their house. You're going to pay for the professional pictures, and you're going to do Facebook ads with them. And this is all going to come out of your pocket. Now, some of you might be thinking, whoa, that's kind of crazy. I'm not going to pay for that much. But think about it. You have to be a little bit business-minded here. If you have a $5,000 commission coming out of this listing and you invest $1,000 out of your commission just to promote your services, you're going to be able to give an amazing offer to that home owner. And why would they go to the other realtor down the street when you're giving them all these goodies, right? They would give you the business. So now, instead of you having one listing, you can probably have 2, 3, 4 listings every month. So now you're not only making $5,000, yeah, you're making $4,000 for each house, but you might make $4,000 and another $4,000 and another $4,000. So now you have $12,000 worth of listings because you invested $3,000, $1,000 for each, right? So you have to create your product. You have to create an offer around your product, okay? So, all right, so that's that. I say my goal with any offer is to make the total value of it to be at least 10 times what it's worth. So if he was selling his cell phone for $100,000, he pumped up the value to $1 million. Remember, he said he had Apple Books worth $750,000. He had Voxer, which was worth $100,000, and he had other apps that were worth at least $150,000 and then all his contacts, the price list, because those are worth millions. So he says the total value of my offer was $1 million, and he was selling the phone for $100,000, right? So that's how he created an irresistible offer, and they call it the offer stack. Okay, so from now on, whenever we mention offer stack, you know exactly what we're talking about. If you haven't increased the value at the point where you are selling becomes inexpensive, then you're not creating a good offer. Okay, so you bring the value of whatever you're selling, the perceived value, to amazing standards. And then he gives us another example in this book, which I thought was amazing. Let me see. Get good making. So he says, get good at making offers. The first key to having success with funnels is learning how to make an offer. Each ad you post will be making an offer, such as, click here to see the video that will show you how to blank. Each step in the funnel will also have an offer, such as, give me your email address and I will send you a free blank. That's your lead magnet. So let me go here. Then he gives us another example. I didn't really make highlights here, but I remembered it really well. He gives us another example of a babysitter. So he pulls a little girl on stage and he asks her, what do you do? And then she says she's a 12-year-old girl, and she says, I'm a babysitter. So okay, so how much do you charge? $5 an hour. Do you have any competition? And she said, yeah, every girl in my neighborhood, in my block, is a babysitter. So he says, so usually as a parent, if you want to go on a date night, what you would do is go down the list of babysitters, and whoever's available, that would probably be the babysitter that they choose, right? Because they're a commodity. They're just like, they can get that service or product by anybody else, right? Just giving them a call. So he instructed the little girl to not be just a babysitter, but to make an amazing offer. So he asked her, what else can you offer when you babysit? And the girl started giving a bunch of examples, and she said, let me see a few of them here. He said, what else can we add to the offer? And so she said stuff like, here it is. she said, well, I can offer to wash the dishes. I can clean the house. I can offer to read books to the children. I can offer to bring toys to play outside. That way we get them off the internet. I can put the kids to sleep. I can bring snacks. I can cook treats. I can take pictures of the kids. I can print out a collage. So now this babysitter is not just a babysitter. She created this amazing offer. And instead of being babysitting for 4 hours, it's a $20 value. She's giving them a $400 value with all this stuff, and she's only charging $40. So again, this is another example of how the babysitter raised her $40 value. She raised the perceived value to $400, to 10 times what she was charging. So that's how you create an irresistible offer, okay? And then he goes on and he talks about the storytelling. So if you guys noticed in the beginning, when he started making his offer, he started with a story. And just like he does with every chapter in this book, he starts with a story. So he says, you see, offering someone a list of stuff isn't necessarily going to move the needle. It's you telling them the story behind the offer that increases the perceived value of each element that makes the offer truly irresistible. Okay? So every one of us has a story. And then he goes on and he gives us an example here of a guy who invented like the keto diet and how he gained 75 pounds within 6 months. And then he lost those pounds with his own diet. And that was the story that he sold, that he used to sell his product. So it was the story he had behind his offer that connected with people. So he says, but to truly understand the emotional and psychological journey of the people, you must tell a story. Okay, so that's what, you need to become a storyteller in your offer. And then the last thing is the hook. The hooks are the headlines, images, and videos that we put in front of our dream customers, wherever they are congregating with a goal to capture their attention just long enough so we can tell them the story. So there's a hook, the story, and the offer. So you hook them with an image, with something, with a video. You tell them a story, and then you show them your irresistible offer. Okay? So he says, in the first edition of DotCom Secrets, I called the hooks Inquiry interrupters. Inquirer, if you guys know the magazine, The Inquirer, he says, because they reminded me of being in the grocery store and walking through the checkout stand where one of the headlines from the tabloids grabs your attention. So guys, this is very important. When you start doing your own advertisement online and starting creating hooks and titles, you have to become a student of everything that you read. Every headline out there is a hook. So study that hook. Anything that grabs your attention, stop and think, why did it grab my attention? Okay? So, and that's how you start learning the psyche behind, creating your own hooks. So the hook doesn't provide any value in itself, but it grabs the attention so you can tell the story. And that, my friends, is the conclusion of secret number 2 of the DotCom Secrets book of Russell Brunson. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Next week, we will be going over secret number 3, which is the value ladder. All right? So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Take care. Bye-bye.